take a moment to pause, breathe, and ask yourself, when was the last time you really took a deep breath? I'm not talking about the automatic act of filling your lungs out of necessity. I'm talking about breathing with full awareness, recognizing that the air you inhale is more than just oxygen. It's energy, it's spirit. It's the quiet voice of the universe entering you. Breathing is the one thing that stays with us from the moment we're born until the moment we die. Yet we often forget about it, just as someone living by a river might forget the sound of the water. But in that simple act of breathing, something we often overlook, there's a key that opens the door to something divine. Today, I'm going to share a secret that few people know, and even fewer practice. It only takes 6 seconds to connect with something greater than yourself. 6 seconds for your breath to become more than just a mechanical action and become a bridge to something eternal. 6 seconds for your body to reconnect with its true nature and your soul to sync with the rhythm of the universe. This isn't a modern discovery or a technique dreamed up by self-help gurus. It's an ancient wisdom passed down by yogis, Kabbalists, Sufis, alchemists, and sages from all eras. A wisdom that modern science is just beginning to understand, but that ancient teachings have guarded for centuries, knowing that those who control their breath control their spirit. In this journey, we'll explore the history and philosophy of spiritual breathing, how ancient cultures saw breath as the sacred link between humans and the divine, how 6 seconds of conscious breathing can change your biology, mind, and subtle energy, and how to incorporate this power into your daily life to awaken your awareness and your connection with everything around you. It's no coincidence that in every ancient language, the word for breath also means spirit. In Hebrew, it's ruach, in Greek, pneuma, in Sanskrit, prana. Breath is the physical trace of the invisible. Get ready for a journey that will not only expand your mind, but also transform the way you experience your body and your entire reality. Because when you breathe consciously, your soul remembers where it truly belongs. Throughout history, the most advanced civilizations never saw breathing as just a biological function. To them, breathing was a cosmic ritual, a silent dance between the human and the divine. In ancient India, the RSIs, or Vedic sages, spoke of prana, the life force that animates all of existence. It wasn't just air, it was subtle energy flowing through invisible channels known as nads. To control prana was to control life itself, and from this came pranayama, a timeless science not just of regulating breath, but of opening the door to higher consciousness. The ancient text Hatha Yoga Pradipika says, when breath moves, mind moves. When breath stills, mind stills. In other words, conscious breathing is the key to mastering the mind, and mastering the mind is how you touch infinity. In ancient Egypt, breath was seen as the manifestation of Q, the vital energy of the individual. Initiates practiced conscious breathing to maintain balance between body, mind, and spirit. Breath didn't just revitalize the body, it purified the soul, preparing it for eternal life. The god Amun, whose name means the hidden one, was called upon through breathing techniques that expanded consciousness, as breath was the invisible current connecting the human soul to the gods. In the Hebrew tradition, we find ruach, which means both wind and spirit. Genesis tells us that God breathed his breath into clay, and that's how man was born. According to this story, all of existence is the result of divine breath. Each inhalation is an echo of that first breath of creation. The Taoists spoke of qi, the life force circulating through the body and nature. Breath was fundamental to practices like qigong and internal alchemy, not only to extend life, but to refine the spirit and achieve spiritual immortality. They believe that the true person breathes deeply from the heels, a metaphor for breathing that unites heaven and earth within the practitioner. Even in pre-Columbian cultures, breath had a sacred role. Shamans in the Andes and the Amazon used breathing techniques along with chants and rituals to enter altered states of consciousness, connect with spirits, and heal both body and soul. What did these diverse cultures, separated by oceans and centuries, all have in common? The understanding that breath is the boundary between the visible and the invisible, between matter and spirit, between the human and the divine. In this esoteric view, every breath is an act of receiving the universe into yourself, and every exhale is an offering, surrendering the personal to the cosmic. Conscious breathing isn't just about living, it's about actively participating in the ongoing creation of the world. In today's fast-paced world of stress and distractions, we've forgotten this sacred truth. We breathe shallowly, without awareness, but the secret remains, waiting for us to remember. And the most amazing thing is that, according to the ancients, you don't need a lifetime to reconnect. Sometimes just 6 seconds of conscious breathing can bring you back to eternity. Imagine your body as a temple, a sacred place where each organ is an altar, each cell a monk chanting in silence, each heartbeat a drum marking the rhythm of a cosmic ritual. Now imagine that at the center of this temple is a key, a simple yet powerful key that, when turned, opens the doors between your inner world and the divine. That key is breath, and the combination is simple. Inhale for 3 seconds. Exhale for 3 seconds. It might seem too simple to be transformative, but within this simplicity lies its power. When you inhale for 3 seconds, you do more than just fill your lungs. You expand your energy field, opening pathways for prana, ruach, or chi to flow. When you exhale for 3 seconds, you do more than empty your lungs. You release physical, mental, and emotional tension, returning to the universe what no longer serves you and purifying your vibrational energy. Each cycle is a small ritual of death and rebirth. Why 6 seconds? This is where ancient wisdom and modern science come together. Recent research on heart rate coherence shows that when we breathe at a rate of about 5 to 6 breaths per minute, meaning cycles of inhaling and exhaling that last 10 to 12 seconds, the heart, nervous system, and brain enter a state of balance. Heart rate variability improves, brain waves become smoother, and the parasympathetic system, the one that controls calm and recovery, activates. But these ancient teachings didn't mention heart rate coherence. Instead, they said, when breath and mind become one, the soul remembers its origin. The 6-second cycle is the key to that state. There's something deeper, though. When you breathe this way, you're not just balancing your body, you're also influencing your energy field. Hindu tradition explains this through the nades. When breath is shallow or irregular, subtle energy channels get blocked. When breathing becomes rhythmic and deep, energy flows freely, awakening higher states of consciousness. Sufi mystics taught the same, combining breath and chant in their practices, knowing that a steady breath rhythm harmonized the heart with the universe. By breathing consciously in 6-second cycles, you not only oxygenate your body but align with the hidden pulse of the cosmos. It's as if, for that moment, you stop being an isolated individual and merge with the vastness of existence. And something even more subtle happens. As you keep this rhythm, the mind, used to scattering itself among countless thoughts, begins to quiet down, dissolving like morning mist. In this stillness, there's a vast inner space that mystics describe as the dwelling place of God. Breathing this way isn't just about relaxing, it's a practice of connection. Each inhale is a silent prayer. I enter the whole. Each exhale is a quiet offering. I surrender to the whole. This is just the beginning of the journey. In the next section, we'll dive deeper. What happens in the body, mind, and soul when you hold this breath? How can you make this state last longer and even transform your entire life? We've opened the door. Now it's time to walk through it. When you maintain the sacred 6-second rhythm, 3 seconds to inhale, 3 seconds to exhale, something deeper than just calm occurs within you. It's as if each repetition tunes you like a forgotten instrument. The breath becomes the melody, and you are the string vibrating between worlds. Let's start with the body, our physical temple. Slow, steady breathing activates the vagus nerve, the vast channel that connects the brain to the heart, lungs, liver, and gut. This nerve is the main bridge of the parasympathetic system, responsible for relaxation, digestion, and healing. Activating it with 6-second breathing lowers cortisol, the stress hormone, reduces blood pressure, improves digestion, and balances the immune system. In esoteric terms, we could say it purifies and harmonizes the physical body, preparing it to hold more subtle energies. Now, let's look at the mind. When the breath stabilizes, activity in the limbic system, the center of emotions, diminishes, and brainwaves shift into the alpha and theta states, which are linked to deep meditation, creativity, intuition, and unity. The constant stream of thoughts calms down. The mind stops being a turbulent sea and becomes a peaceful lake. In that stillness, the witness consciousness emerges, the part of you that never changes, that observes without attaching, that simply is. This is where all spiritual traditions meet. When the mind quiets, the soul awakens. Yogis call it samadhi, Christian mystics call it contemplative prayer, and Sufis call it prana, the merging of the ego with the divine. And it all starts with the rhythm of the breath, but there's more. Keeping this breath steady with focus and continuity expands your energy field, your aura. In Hindu tradition, prana flows freely through chakras and nodes. In Hermetic alchemy, this state was seen as refining internal energies, turning dense emotions into higher consciousness. Maintaining this flow not only harmonizes you, but aligns you with the universe's energy. Remember, the universe breathes too. In Hermetic cosmology and the Upanishads, there's talk of the cosmic breath, the eternal cycle of creation and destruction, expansion and contraction. When you breathe consciously in this rhythm, you align with that universal pulse, becoming a part of the cosmic body, no longer separate but connected. Then the greatest mystery happens. The feeling of separation vanishes. The ego, our fragmented sense of self, dissolves. In its place, there's a silent unity, not a thought, not an emotion, but a deep certainty more real than any word. It's the feeling of being home, returning to the source. This is what all traditions mean by connection with God, not as an external figure or belief, but as the direct experience of the sacred force that sustains everything. And the best part is that you don't need to spend hours meditating, travel to distant temples, or go on long retreats. Just 6 seconds of conscious breathing, repeated with intention and presence, is enough. The secret isn't in complexity, but in consistency. As the ancients taught, constant dripping wears away stone, and constant breathing opens the soul's doors. Knowing the secret is the first step. True transformation comes when that knowledge becomes a living practice, when it becomes part of your everyday life, not just a nice idea, but a way of being in the world. Breath is the thread that connects you to the divine. When you learn to focus and control it consistently, your life becomes a prayer in motion. Here are 4 simple yet powerful ways to incorporate 6-second breathing into your daily life. and keep that connection to the sacred open. Morning connection ritual. Each morning, before checking your phone, talking, or jumping into the day's tasks, take a moment to sit or lie down. Close your eyes and place your hands on your chest or abdomen. Do 10 cycles of 6-second breathing. 3 seconds to inhale, 3 seconds to exhale. With each breath, imagine you're drawing in light, life, and purpose, and releasing tension, fear, and distractions. This quick ritual centers you from the start, helping you act with clarity instead of reacting out of habit. It's like a daily dedication of yourself to the day ahead. Anchor breaths throughout the day. In today's fast-paced world, it's easy to get lost in the constant flow of distractions. To stay grounded, set an intention to do 1 cycle of 6-second breathing whenever you perform a routine action, like opening a door, washing your hands, or checking your watch. These small moments of awareness will help keep your energy clean, your mind focused, and your heart calm. Emotional cleansing breath. When you feel anxious, angry, or sad, pause for a moment. Instead of reacting or pushing your feelings away, close your eyes and take 5 to 10 cycles of 6-second breathing. With each exhale, imagine releasing heavy emotions like dark smoke, and with each inhale, picture bringing in clarity and calm like golden light. After just a few rounds, you'll feel the emotional tension dissolve, not by avoiding the feelings but by transforming their energy. Nightly integration seal. Before you sleep, gift yourself 5 minutes of conscious breathing. As you inhale, think about the positive moments of your day with gratitude. As you exhale, let go of any worries or stress, sending them into the universe like leaves floating down a river. This clears your energy before rest, helping you sleep deeply and wake up refreshed. These practices aren't just exercises, they're sacred moments of reconnection. Every time you breathe consciously, your inner self awakens, and the divine energy flows through you once again. Remember, it's not about how long you breathe, but about consistency. A minute a day is more powerful than an hour once in a while. Over time, your entire life will become a reflection of sacred breath. We've covered a lot, but there's so much more to this journey. Today, you've not only learned about breath, you've remembered a sacred tool always available to you, quiet and patient, waiting for you to turn inward. In a world that teaches us to look outside ourselves, breath is the compass pointing within. It's the first thing we do when we're born, and the last thing we do when we leave. Between those two breaths, one that opens us to the world and one that sends us on our way, lies our entire life. Yet, how often do we breathe without realizing that with each breath we're touching something greater? Breath is like God's signature on us. Not a belief or a doctrine, but the direct experience that something greater moves through and sustains us. When you breathe consciously, you stop being a passive observer and become an active co-creator. You align with the eternal rhythm that beats in stars, waves, seasons, and in your own chest. Today, you've rediscovered the sacred 6-second cycle. 3 seconds to receive life with humility, and 3 to offer yourself to the universe with trust. A rhythm so simple that it's easy to overlook. Yet, as the ancients taught, what is small and constant overcomes the large and unstable. This isn't the end, but an invitation to experience, not just understand. What we've discussed here will only make sense when you put it into practice. When each morning begins with a conscious breath, when each night ends with a sacred exhale, when, amidst life's challenges, you remember that peace is just one breath away. I invite you to make your breath an act of devotion, not to something outside yourself, but to the eternal spark within you. Because when you breathe consciously, God breathes with you. If this message resonated with you, subscribe, and keep exploring the ancient wisdom and practical spirituality that can transform your life. In this space, we're unlocking the keys to the soul. Hit the bell to receive every new insight, and share in the comments how practicing conscious breathing has affected you. Always remember, between you and the divine, there is no distance, only a single breath. Breathe. Come home. 1.